Good morning, boys and girls. So today in writing, what we're going to be working on is adding dialogue to our narrative piece. The standard in fourth grade is asking us to use dialogue, and it's supposed to carry the story. So as a writer, we can't just continue using our words. We have to have our characters in our story, which in a personal narrative is sometimes ourselves. And we have to use that dialogue to kind of carry the plot. I'm going to read my story, my personal narrative about the summer, and I'm just going to kind of show you how can we use dialogue in writing. So one of the standards that we worked on last year is really kind of hooking our reader in, okay? We looked at different hooks and different leads that you can use. So if you haven't done that yet, I'm encouraging you to go back, make sure you have a strong hook, a strong lead to really hook your reader in, because if we don't have that, we're not encouraging our reader to continue reading. So my piece is called Rushing Back, and sometimes the title for me doesn't really come up in the first thing. So sometimes I might just leave it here, title, and that's something that I can go back to. But as I was writing this is Rushing Back was something that just kind of popped into my head, so I put it up there. And I started, remember, you want to indent your piece. Notice my writing is indented, and by doing that, you can hit that tab button on the left-hand side of the keyboard. So it started with a faint sound covered with a rumble and bumble of Route 35 cars zipping by. I stopped, glanced to my left and then to my right. Everything was clear and I darted across the street. As I gradually approached my destination, the distinct sound that warms every cell in my body became louder and louder. Boom, crack. I was there, my little heaven on earth. Wait up, screamed my sister as she zipped up her wetsuit and dove in behind me. The water was a pleasant 35 degrees. The waves were coming in strong sets of 3, and morning surfers scattered the coastline. Julian and I made our way through the pushback of the waves until we were finally out there, what felt like the horizon. The glistening sun was still making its way up the ocean line in a distance. Birds were squealing from above and waiting for their morning meal. I glanced back at the shoreline, and morning walkers began making their way down the shoreline for their habitual morning walk. "Cat, I'm going to take this one," yelled my sister. She began frantically paddling to meet up with me, the Herculean wave that was approaching. As it came closer, she began paddling harder and harder, and whoosh! Within seconds, she was up on her board, riding the beautiful ride of life. I smiled with the excitement of surfing and glanced over. I smiled with the excitement of surfing. See, that doesn't make sense to me, so I'm going to kind of highlight it. I'm noticing it as I'm reading it loud. It doesn't make sense, so I'm going to highlight it and notice that's something I need to come back with. I smiled at the excitement of surfing and glanced over my shoulder to see if there was another one for me. A little disappointed, comma, A turned, so that should be I turned. I turned back to see Jillian making her way back. I turned to my left and right to see only more surfers have joined us. I slowly turned my board to meet the horizon, the perfect location for spotting any good wave. Minutes passed by until I saw another wave. So I noticed I used wave and wave right here, and that's something we want to kind of avoid doing. That's something we want to kind of avoid doing. So I'm going to highlight it and know that I need to go back and look at word choice. And maybe I might need to even reword that whole sentence to make sure I'm not repeating words like that, because it's not really something that the reader wants to hear. There's so many words in the English language that we really have to be creative. "This one is yours, comma," quotation, hollered my sister, comma. "You got this. Go," she yelled. I began rotating my arms like a propeller on a plane, fast and strong. With each stroke, I took a deep breath and put all my effort into each stroke. So again, I don't like that. I want to think of a synonym, so I'm going to come back to it. As my hand slapped the water, I cupped it, pushing it behind me. Left, right, I thought to myself, and within seconds, I could feel the strength of the wave push me forward. I jumped up, my first wave of the day. "Awesome!" I could hear my sister yell in the distance. I smiled to myself and enjoyed the moment. So we're not really looking at the story itself, because I want to come back to a different ending, but you can see that I do use dialogue. I have my sister and I kind of having a conversation back and forth, and that kind of help guides my narrative. So in today, I want you to pull out your grammar notebook, look at our dialogue rules, because that's really important that we're creating new paragraphs to identify who's talking. And I want us to aim to use dialogue in our writing to help carry our story.